That's it. Yeah, just in case, you know, even if people want to just refer back to what we've discussed, or people that can't make it might be, or people that want to join later on and just need to know the nuts and bolts of it. So great. Shall I just start, Michelle? And
yes, please,
so
Claire.
probably by way of an introduction for those people who don't know me. So I'm Claire Willis. I head up the STEM team based at the North East STEM Hub. Well, I think Angie's struggling with that sound, but I'll just keep going. Hopefully she can lip read. So I head up a team of 7 people within the STEM hub based at RTC North. So we're based in Sunderland, but we actually run several contracts across the North East and the Yorkshire and Humber region. And one of them is the STEM Ambassador Programme. So some of you might be familiar with that. And we run cybersecurity contracts and all the rest of it. So we have really good engagement with our primary and secondary schools, both in the North East and the Yorkshire and Humber region, through mainly the STEM Ambassador Programme, but through lots of, you might have heard of our STEM Fest events, or 1,000 kids a day across 3 days, you know, in the North East and in the Yorkshire and Humber region. So the last one we did was in October. But we've had conversations with Michelle and Tanya at the North East STEM Foundation. And actually over the years, I've been doing this for quite a long time. We've had a lot of schools that have said, we're doing loads of stuff. And how do we kind of record it? Like, would it be good? Could we have some sort of accreditation? Could the students fill in some sort of form as part of record of achievement or whatever? So this is where it's kind of started, having conversations with Michelle and Tanya around, well, why not? Why can't we have something that we can give to the schools that they can use with their young people, and is almost at both primary and secondary level, is almost a record of achievement or in STEM and what those students are doing within STEM. So this has gone on for quite a few months, but we've kind of got to the point where we want to pilot it. I don't want to launch in and say, right, this is what's happening, you know, and to just sort of almost deliver a fait accompli. We're very keen on just seeing whether or not this is a good idea, and how it works in schools, what the feedback is, what the teachers are saying, what's missing, what maybe the students are missing. So we came up with the idea of a pupil passport. And I pulled together some sort of key, I won't call them KPIs because I've got KPIs running around my head, but I'll call them sort of activities, STEM activities that students in your school can do, and maybe they're doing them anyway as part of sort of delivery of the curriculum within schools, but then maybe some of them they're not doing, and it would be good for them to do them, and then record those activities. So we came up with a STEM passport. Now we've targeted it at, we're going to pilot it. Ideally, we were looking at a 6-month pilot, and I'm still happy to run it for 6 months. So we're not running at it and got to do it in a few weeks, because that's never going to work for anyone. So we're looking at a 6-month pilot of around 10 schools. So roughly 5 primary and 5 secondary, but I think we've got more than 5 primary wanting to get involved anyway. So again, that's not too much of a problem. So the idea is to run it with a small cohort of schools, both at primary and secondary level, launching it this week. So I think Michelle's very efficiently sent through the sort of digital copies of what it looks like. And again, any feedback that you've got today on those digital copies, we can change before they actually go to print. And we're going to finish the Friday before the half-term week, which I have down as the 23rd of May, but it might be slightly different south of the region. But again, that's a movable feast. And I think that just gives us a bit of a good lead in to talking today about what it looks like and the different activities, and then how that could be implemented within schools. And then any questions or anything, any suggestions or any comments or anything, both myself and Michelle are quite open to discussion. So if I just run through the sort of the key stage 2 one that you've seen as a digital copy, and then again, I'll just open it up to the people on the call for any sort of feedback. So what we decided was we're going to put 8 STEM activities in. Now there's loads of STEM activities that we could have included, but we've narrowed it down to 8. And of those 8, we're saying if the students achieve 6 of the 8, because not all students will be able to do all 8. If they do, great. If they don't, we're sort of saying that in the 6 months, if they could have completed 6 in that time, that would be great. So the first activity is reading a science book. So if they, in this 6 months, if they have read a science book, they just need to name the book, the author, and something that they learned when they read that book. What did they, what were the takeaways? What did they learn? If you're struggling with science books, we do have some in RTC. So we've got a book box loan scheme, which we've got boxes of fantastic books that you can borrow free of charge, and you could use them either reading yourself, get the children to read them, maybe a STEM ambassador can come and read a book. So that was one activity. So if you're struggling with science books, then please do let me know. We'll put down a STEM event, visiting a STEM event. Now that can be something as big as STEM Fest, so part of an external visit that you go out with thousands of other kids and participate in, but it could be something that the NESF Foundation are running, like maybe those smaller STEM events. Again, that is just the name of the event, because we'd like to almost do this as a bit of a kind of benchmark as to understand actually what activity is going on out there. The date of the STEM event, and again, just something that they learned as part of that STEM event. I mean, there's not a lot of space to write in, and it may be that we'll shuffle the graphics around a little bit, but they're the first 2 activities. So the third one is STEM Ambassador. So we run the STEM Ambassador programme, and we have around about 600 STEM ambassadors in the North East region who provide a service to schools via a platform. So again, if you're not familiar with the STEM Ambassador programme, I mean, Dawn's a STEM Ambassador. It's through STEM Learning. It's funded through UK Research and Innovation, and we have STEM ambassadors in a whole range of industries that can come into your school. It tends to happen as a result of a post on the platform, the STEM Learning platform. STEM ambassadors would see that and respond to that request. So that's, if you're unfamiliar with that system, then again, I can help you with that. But we'd like to know so if it was Dawn, Dawn Gaskins, the name of the company, Techmar, one thing they learned when the STEM ambassador came in. Again, not a lot of space to put anything in there. But again, this is what the pilot's all about. STEM competitions, so there's thousands, there's loads of STEM competitions out there. So if they participate in F1 in schools, for example, or what else is Big Bang, there's loads out there. So I'm not particular about which one the students take part in, just if it's a competition. So if they take part in a competition in the next 6 months and it's STEM related, put that in their passport, and something again that they learned as part of that. Science experiments, where you're going to be doing them in school anyway, so that's a fairly easy one. So again, what did they do, what equipment did they use, and again, something that they learned as part of that experiment. A TV program, STEM TV program. So, and again, a lot of this is around science capital. It's not just about the stuff that's taught in schools, it's about that after school engagement. What parental support are they getting? So a TV program could be something that they watch at home. It could be something they watch in school as well. So we're not trying to make this really difficult for you. We just kind of want to see, what are you doing, and what works, what's easy, what's not so easy. So today, watch the STEM TV program, a name of the program and who presented it. Again, something that they learned. Visit a STEM industry. So that's actually an external visit. So going out and visiting Techmar, Tridonic, BP, Nissan, whatever that is. Again, I would really like to know the name of the company. What did the company do? Make cars, it's Nissan. And again, something that the student learned. Crest Awards. Now, some of you might be familiar with Crest Awards. We run the contract in the North East for Crest Awards. They're through the British Science Association. And it's almost, again, that acknowledgement of activity. It's a bit of like Duke of Edinburgh for science. And it's there used to be creativity in science and technology. They're now just referred to as Crest. There is a fee to be paid for them. It used to be £1 per Crest Award, but if you're interested in doing that, we've got a good relationship with them, and I think there's been some money that's ring fenced to do Crest. And you start from a sort of star level. And you go right up to 70 hours for a gold Crest Award. So 70 hours would be sixth form, but actually your students can start with the sort of star discovery, like the lower level, and then work through the Crest Awards until they get to sort of the sixth form, and then they've got a whole range of Crest Awards right across all of the categories. So that's a Crest Award. And again, it's something that we would be keen on the students doing. So is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I missing a page? I think I'm missing a page. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we've gone through the 8. Yeah, because we've squashed 2 of them together. So in a sense, that's what we're looking at doing as the pilot. It's a record of achievement really for the students in your schools. That's the Key Stage 2 one. I could go through the Key Stage 3 one, but I'm not sure how appropriate it will be for the MAT, but it might not be for everybody on the call. But it's a similar, it's sort of similar categories, slightly different for the older students, but it's the same sort of programme, and that would like to deliver the pilot within the 6 months and see where the students get to. So I will get, if you can give me some feedback, maybe, some today and maybe some this week, I can get that onto our designer. We can make those amends, and then we'll get all of these passports printed and sent out to the schools for the students to start completing them. So I hope, Michelle, does that cover everything that we kind of discussed, the timescales, the ask of the schools? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's given an insight into what the activities are, and like you say, for Key Stage 2, I think most of them are relatively achievable within the normal school environment, but obviously teachers here will let us know whether they think that's doable. Has anybody got any comments or any questions?
Yeah, where you said you North East STEM, where are you based?
We're based in Sunderland, so we're just off the 1231 in Sunderland, but we actually cover the whole of the North East region. So right up the borders of Scotland, across to Cumbria, borders with Cumbria, and right down to the borders of North Yorkshire. And actually, we also run the North Yorkshire contract for the STEM Ambassador Hub and the National Cyber Security Centre as well. So we're based in Sunderland, but we cover the whole of the North East.
So if we wanted to loan any books from you, have to come to Sunderland?
Yeah, or I can liaise with Michelle. Michelle, I mean, if that's of interest, we might just give you one of our boxes as part of the STEM Foundation, and you can, because I appreciate some of the distance. It might take you an hour to get to us.
We did,
and then an hour back.
Yeah, we did talk about sort of the foundation actually buying some of these boxes from the RTC and having them based in Middlesbrough, so that people in the Tees Valley had easier access to them. So, but in the short term, we can certainly get hold of them and get them to you if you wanted to borrow any of the boxes. Because it's not just the books, is it, Claire? You've got other STEM activities and things as well, which might also fit into the passport.
Yeah, we've got a whole kit club. So if you go on our website, which is northeaststemhub.co.uk, you'll see there's a resources section on there. And if you look in the resources, we've got loads of kit. In fact, that's something I should have probably put in the passports and I haven't. But we've got loads of kit. So we've got microorganisms. So we've got UV lights and hand wash, UV gels that the kids can. We've got torsos. We've got a skeleton, full-size skeleton. We've got a whole load of microscopes and microscope size. So there's a box on climate change, forces and friction, healthy eating. So yeah, if you go on our website, on top of those science books that we've also got a whole load of kit there are no primary schools really struggle with. So if you have a look on there, my colleague Sheena, she coordinates that program. It's all free of charge. You know, if you do damage something, then obviously we'd ask for it to be replaced. But you know, you can borrow those from us at any time.
Hi, can I just check with the resources then? Are they from Sunderland as well, or will they be available in Middlesbrough?
So they're from Sunderland as well, but I think, Michelle, we probably do need to resurrect that call that we had about those kits, because yeah, it's basically we've got duplicates as well. So if you have the storage facility, that's the other thing, Michelle, within the STEM Foundation, somewhere where they could be stored, then
I know we had that conversation with Tanya, who's our chair of the foundation, and their offices in Middlesbrough, and she was happy to start them. And I think as a foundation, we'd be happy to buy some of the kits as well. So we do have them available for the schools. So I'll pick that up with Tanya and we'll move that forward separately. But if you are interested in any of the kits, just drop me an email and I can organise that with you.
Oh, fab, thank you.
Yeah, we've definitely got at least two sets of the book boxes that are complete duplications. So there's no problem in us giving you that one, even because it's part of this pilot. I think, yes, let's just get that to you anyway, Michelle, if Tanya's happy to put it in a cupboard somewhere or whatever. Because they're kind of those big, almost like the big Dougs. So, and the book one's quite heavy as well. But we'll get one of those down to you anyway as part of the pilot. And then if Tanya's happy to host a few of them, maybe the popular kits, particularly if we've got duplicates, then yes, there's no problem there. We just need a physical space to put them.
I mean, anyone local to me, I can perhaps pick some up and, you know, distribute out. You know, I know you're quite close to me, Sam. So if there's anything like that, I can liaise and, you know, meet or whatever to help.
Oh, thanks, Dawn.
That's great, Dawn. And actually, you know, getting a STEM ambassador in to deliver that sort of thing. So, you know, just saying microorganisms, you know, if you've got a microbiologist who's a STEM ambassador, and we do have them, that's right up their street. So, you know, you're almost killing two birds with one stone in a way, getting your kit in there and then getting your STEM ambassador to deliver the session. You know, so there's lots of opportunity there.
But I mean, if anyone wants to reach out to me, if I can help in any way, I am a STEM ambassador already, and I'm more than happy to come and, you know, assist in any way I can and you know, and deliver anything, read a book, whatever. Please just reach out to me.
Dawn, can I ask if you've got a contact details then, an email that we could have?
Yes,
shall
Michelle?
I follow up after this call and I'll put all the information on the North East STEM Foundation STEM Learning. I'll put all the links on to all the different sites, Dawn contact details.
Brilliant.
I'll send out the new Key Stage 2 and 3 passports, because I think some of them were the early versions and they're being updated. So I'll send the latest ones, and then, as Claire said, if people can comment on them, if you've got any suggestions before they go to print, what would we give as a deadline? Because bearing in mind it's Thursday to get back any feedback. When would you be to go to print?
Should we say the end of next week? Should we say the end of next week? And then, because it should just, unless it's a complete overhaul, which I'm hoping it's not, but if it's just a few tweaks here and there and shuffling graphics around and stuff, then that shouldn't be a problem. And even if we've got to extend to 6 months, you know, May's not a dead stop. You know, what I would like at the end is actually to do a little bit of celebration, Michelle. I think we talked about that to get, you know, the schools who've been part of the pilot, the kids that have done, no, that's fine. The kids that have done the activities, you know, we'll get some certificates all branded up for them to say, you know, I achieved my passport or whatever. So I think it's just allowing that little bit of flexibility towards the end of the 6 months to just put in some sort of celebration event where, you know, we can just sort of congratulate the students who've participated. But that's in the future. So what I'm saying is the 6 months is not a dead stop on this one. So if we get feedback on the passports at the end of next week, I'll get my designer on it the following week. and then we'll get those printed and delivered into the schools, so that they're ready for the kids to fill in. Sorry, what was that? There was something in the chat there.
More thought would be to run it to the end of the academic year, as there more things to do in the summer after term. After May, that would tick some boxes.
So only thought we'd just run at the end of the academic year. So there are things I do in the summer term after May that would take some. Oh, okay, right, okay. Well, I mean, what do you want to do, Michelle? Do you want to just extend it and then leave maybe, you know, should we say sort of a few weeks towards the end of term? I mean, how do people feel about that? Just to have a celebration event in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have a look at the diary, Michelle.
Yeah.
And we'll see when we need that sort of the deadline to happen, and then actually have the time to be able to have the celebration event before the kids break up on somewhere around the 19th or something like that, 19th of July or something.
Yeah.
It's quite a busy time of year for us. But if that makes things easier, where a lot of the activities taking place towards the end of the academic year, then, you know, I'm happy with that.
Okay. Yeah. If that's what works better, gives us a bit of time, because it always takes a little while to sort of get things started, and then we're sort of going to be hitting Christmas, isn't it? So if we sort of extend it a little bit, that makes sense. Give everyone a chance to take part.
And there's no other evidence that's needed. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to say to you, right, I need a list of exactly what the kids did for the experiment and stuff. I need evidence. I'm not going to go down that road, because that just makes it too complicated, and the kids won't do it, and you'll think it's just something else to do. So I think we just want to make it as easy as possible. We know this activity's taken place, but it's not really being logged anywhere. And I suppose the kids, again, it's in their books, but could they take their passport into their secondary school and say, oh, look what I did all these STEM things in my primary school, and likewise for the secondaries, UCAS applications, or getting into their sixth form or whatever. It's almost a specific record of achievement in STEM for them.
I think it's quite an exciting thing, to pull everyone together as a team as well, and a bit of competitive. Oh, we've done this, and what did you do? And I just think it's a great scheme.
There's nothing national. There's nothing national. I mean, if you Google STEM passports, you'll see a lot of schools across the country kind of do something like this. But it's by no means not a national programme. So potentially, again, it's the North East leading the way, isn't it? Potentially, if this works, then we could have chats with British Science Association to say, look, what we're doing, and we've done a pilot. There were a few kind of bits and pieces that we needed to address, but actually, in the main, it's worked. And then Michelle, we've been talking about school accreditation, haven't we?
Yes.
About getting some sort of badge, because schools get arts awards, but could they get a STEM award, or we're a accredited STEM school, or whatever that looks like. So I don't want to run before we walk, but there's certainly plans afoot for future development.
So in terms of next steps, Claire, if I sort of follow up now with this email with all the information on and send the passports through, if we sort of say to everybody who's on the call today, if you do want to proceed with it, can you sort of feedback on the passport and then let us know by the end of next week that you definitely want to take part, and how many children you want to put through? So does that make sense? And then we can see where we're at. And I guess, Claire, it would be okay if we had more than the 300, we could extend, go a little bit higher than that if the interest there, because I know there's a few schools who I've spoken to about it who couldn't make the call today. So I'll share the record and all the details we've talked about, and then see where we're at the end of next week. And then sort of once we know the numbers, then we can do the print and get the passports out to everybody.
Yeah, well, we've got a price on 500 of each. So 500 Key Stage 2, 500 Key Stage 3. So, that's sort of what we're looking at. So, but yeah, if we can just get numbers through, any amends, numbers, get stuff to print, get it out to the schools, and then see where we get to between now and you know, June next year.
And I think, you know, as long as we make it clear to the schools that there are those resources available, the book boxes and the kits and the STEM ambassadors, you know, to support achieving these passports. It's not a case of there's the passports and leave them to get on with it. We are there in the background to help deliver this.
Yeah, I'll give you the two websites as well, Michelle, the stem.org for STEM ambassadors, and also our website. And if you can just put that in the email, then the schools know where to come. Okay.
Angie, did you have a question?
Yeah, just to go back to what you offer, the visit to the STEM industry, is there a list anywhere of what possible industries are available in the area?
That's a really good question. No, there's not. So I'm just wondering if the platform might, so the STEM platform can be used by teachers and STEM ambassadors, but I'm just wondering if actually we could, if a teacher put a post on the STEM learning platform that says, I'm looking for to visit a STEM industry. To be honest, we could probably facilitate that for you, Angie. So if you said to me, I'd really like to go into a STEM industry, say in the Tees Valley area, connected with pharmacy, pharmaceuticals, whatever. If you put that, then I'll ask my colleague Dawn to have a look at what industries we've got, because I know Children Challenging Industry, Nikki down there, she does quite a lot of facilitating of primary schools into industry through the Children Challenging Industry programme. So it may be that Nikki can help support with that, but certainly we could. So I think the best thing to do is, what industry would you like to go? Is it geographical? Would you want to go to somewhere that's pretty close? Makes sense. And then if you've got a specific sector, then I can ask Dawn to have a look and see if we've got a company that would host a visit.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Catherine, did you have a question?
I think that's is that a legacy hand, Catherine, for the first question you asked?
Oh, sorry.
I've done it myself. It's like, Claire, have you got a question? No, I've already asked it. Right.
Right. Is that...
Well, as Michelle, as Michelle said, you know, we're here to help. I'm hoping it's not too onerous. I hope you don't look at it and think, oh God, I'm now going to have to do this, and I'm going to have to do that, and I'm going to have to do the other. So, hopefully, and as I say, it'll happen warts and all. So we want to know, you know, Claire, you pitched it completely wrong. You know, these kids can do 20 activities, you know, in a 6 month, whatever. We just want to hear back from you, because we probably haven't got it right first time, Michelle. So, you know, any feedback, any suggestions, you know, that would be great. And Dawn, from yourself as well, you know, as a STEM ambassador, if you're involved in it, just say, well, maybe it could have, you know, maybe we should have said this, maybe that might have worked better. Because ideally we'll run it for an academic year. So once we get it all sorted and it works and we've made the tweaks this academic year, then ideally it would be a full academic year that the students would be working on it and getting those stamps and those recognitions and logging what they're doing.
Yeah. No problem at all. I mean, and like I said earlier on in the call, if anyone needs, you know, me to come along and support in any way, just reach out to me, and I'll do my best too.
Thanks, Dawn. Okay.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for your time, because I appreciate how busy you all are. So thank you so much for your support and joining the call.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing how this works, how it pans out.
Thanks a lot, and I'll follow up with the email. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.